Hello. Let's see. Adam says he's having a tough time. Huh. Let's see here. There he is. All right, there you are. Hi. Got in. Let's see if anyone else is going to pop on here.
I think Martin's going to come in to set it up.
Okay, so I got it up.
Oh, you got it on?
Yeah, just because it starts now. So.
All right, so maybe we can watch it with you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, because I didn't even. Okay. Whoa, jeez. Interesting.
Who's that? I can't see.
That was Janet.
Okay. I'm like, who's that?
Okay.
All right. Adam's here.
There's my pen.
Janet.
Actually, he has it on his computer.
Who does? Okay. What do you mean you're already linked up?
It's going.
Oh, okay. So maybe if you don't mind, I can just plug you in.
If it's just us, yeah, whatever you want.
It's easier that way. Use your computer while you're on the call.
Oh, I might.
So let me just do it. And thank you, Jen. I didn't. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
I didn't know there was. Someone told me. And I didn't look at the calendar. I just knew the 11 for the. I had to set up for a class, but.
What class is that?
I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest. But there's like 3 classes today, 3 different things happening in the training calendar.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to get started because I think this is going to be it today. So let me go over who all had open house this weekend.
Good. I didn't. I wish I did.
Adam did. I know Danielle did because I saw her on Facebook. So let's see here. Oops. Good. All right. So let's see here. Contacts. I kind of looked through. Let's see, Danielle. I did. It was very slow. Okay. All right. We're going to talk about that. How was your turnout, Adam?
I didn't get anybody.
Nobody. Okay. Let's see. Do you guys have anything? Because I know for us on Sundays, if there's the if the Chiefs NFL team is playing, we shouldn't have open house. So watch your weekends and see if there's any events or anything that might prevent good traffic,
Right.
Mhm.
and see if that might help out a little bit. But
Well,
yeah,
Sunday here was also a cold and nasty rainy day
oh,
too.
was it? See,
So
I
that deters a
typically-
lot of people from going out.
Yeah, see, typically I like a rainy open house day because then they can't be doing yard work and things like that. They're like, oh, let's go look at houses. So Danielle says, I definitely feel that a Saturday this time of year would be better. Okay. So, mix it up, maybe try a Saturday, see how that
Yeah.
works for you.
Yeah.
What day did you do, Adam? Sunday?
I did Sunday 1 to 3,
Okay.
which is, it's kind of right at the height of the 1 o'clock games. I mean, but I'm still gonna do them every Sunday.
Yes.
Just yeah.
Right.
There will
So
always-
if you're at an open house and you're not getting any traffic, what could you be doing?
It's not in the calendar.
Yeah, ready. 1 sec. I'm just giving Martin the link so you can
Or if you
get.
want to just write it down,
Yeah.
whatever's easier.
Okay. Are we gonna flip over to the office one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
So anyway, if you're sitting at an open house and you're not, nobody's coming in, what can you be doing when you're sitting there?
like self-education.
Yeah, lead gen, education, right? So it's not a complete bust if no one comes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Right. So use that time wisely. Maybe take I don't have my little box in here, but I have a box of note cards, and maybe just write some handwritten notes to people,
That's an idea.
you know,
Right.
and see if just use the time wisely. Use it as, hey, if no one's coming, then I'm going to hyper focus and get some work done.
Yes.
Because then you don't have people, they think you're working, so they're not going to bug you and things like that. You probably don't have little kids yet, but it's a nice getaway for those of us who have kids. Like, I'm working.
I don't.
And so, but yeah, really make use of that time. Let's see here. Oh, Maralda says, good morning. Can't be on audio right now, so her video. Awesome. So first thing, let's see here. I am going to do, no one on here is new. So, and Adam, you said you couldn't get on the HudsonValleyCoaching.com?
Yeah. The coach. I mean, the website just wasn't being responsive.
Huh, interesting. Okay, because I got on when you said that. So maybe it was just a glitch on that side. So today we're going to review one of the tools that we have, and we're also going to talk about time management.
Okay.
So managing your time. So that's kind of where I was going. If you don't have people at your open house, use the time wisely, right?
Martin was
It
in
can
the-
be a nice,
not
good
correct.
focus time. Is he popping on?
Do you have an email she could send it to real quick?
You guys said it, well, hang on.
What are we trying to do here?
We're trying to get the video up on the big screen and the link
Yeah, I
you.
might have got it.
Oh wait. Oh, I think we got it.
Well, let me
Got
see.
it?
Well, I got too excited.
Getting there. Let me know if you want me to keep going or
Okay.
pause or.
We could just keep going.
Yeah, we
on
can
here.
keep going here.
Okay. So here's one of the tools called the Passport to Success. I'll email this out to everybody. But I wanted to go through it with you before I send it out. And it's called Passport to Success. It goes through all the things that we offer, what a coach does, what a coach doesn't do, what expectations. There's going to be an agent questionnaire in here as well. So we can work on that. But one of the big things that I want to go over with you, and Adam, I think I sent this to you. Where is it? This.
Yes.
The realtor daily schedule. Let me see if I can get this to fit on the whole screen here. Mostly. Okay. So looking at the schedule, if you're a full-time agent, you have, let me see if I can, there we go. Get it a little bit bigger for us.
Do you have a meeting ID over there?
There we go. And then, so if we start with a full-time agent, 8 to 8:30 lead gen preparation. So that's where you're going to be working on contacts, scripts, get your materials ready, role play, distractions eliminated. Okay. So look at this. This is, you know, ideal. This is an ideal schedule. Now, Janet will tell you that nothing happens ideally in real estate. It's all over the board. So, however, if you have an ideal time block set up, time management system, then you can always adjust things.
You need the email.
To the das.kwhbr.
Here or there.
Okay.
Okay. Then 8:30 to 11 is going to be your lead generation. So that's when you're actually going to be making your contacts. Okay. So this doesn't have to necessarily be sitting at a desk calling people, right? Let's say, you know, on Monday, you're like, okay, my lead gen from 8:30 to 11, I'm going to go do pop buys and talk to my people, or, you know, whatever it is. You don't have to be sitting at a desk dialing. Now, some days you may be, because you're like, hey, I need to just, today's my call day. I need to make my calls. Okay, so whatever your lead gen triggers are, whatever those 3 that you want to do, let's say open houses, pop buys, you know, handwritten notes, or whatever that looks like, make sure that you schedule. They have an hour and a half here. 8:30, 9:30, 2.5 hours. Sorry.
Right.
So if you, 3 hours of lead gen a day is what the MREA teaches us. Now that doesn't have to always be 3 hours at a time. So if you're driving somewhere and you can make a call, that's lead gen, right? So if you just break it up even into 15, I have 15 minutes here, I'm gonna nail the phones, or I'm gonna write a ton of note cards, or whatever, right? So don't get hung up on the 3 hours has to be consecutive. Now, some days it may be, because that's going to give you a really good focused time to do it, but not every day you're going to be able to do that.
Right.
So don't not do it just because you're like, well, I can't do it from 8 to 11. So I'm not going to do it at all, right? It's not how it works.
Right.
If you have 15 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here, just do what you can. Okay. And then 11 to noon is your business servicing.
All right. I'm gonna.
Yeah, why don't you leave, Adam?
Very good.
Yeah, leave it. Okay, can you guys still see me? Because I can't see you. Let's see. I'm gonna. There you are. Oh, that's the ceiling. Awesome. I'm gonna unmute you. Oh, you have to unmute yourself. I can't hear you. There you go. We good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So back to our little schedule here. 11 to noon is business servicing. So that's returning calls, texts, emails, lead conversion time, servicing your listings, buyers, pending transactions. Okay, so that's going to be, you guys are so far away now. It's like, hello. So that's going to be when you actually service your business.
Okay.
Okay, and then take lunch. I tend to forget to eat lunch, so there you have it. It's scheduled in. Take some lunch time. Okay, and then 1 to 2 again, you get some more lead generation time. And then 2 to 3 business services. So during your lead gen time, if people are texting you, calling you, emailing you, that's not the time to be answering those. That happens during business servicing. Now, if it's an emergency, when there's really never really a real estate emergency, really, there's not, business servicing, lead gen. Okay, then after that, listing appointments and showings. So in your time block, if you went in and blocked your calendar like this, you may have to move things and adjust them, right? Which is fine. But at least it's there and you know what needs to be moved and what needs to be adjusted. So we say if you erase it, you must replace it. So you can't just erase it and have it be gone. You need to put it somewhere else. So with this schedule, you're starting at 8 in the morning and you're done by 6. Okay. Now we know that some things happen in the evenings. Some people, you know, need to be serviced and shown houses in the evening. So great. So adjust your schedule accordingly. Okay. We don't have to work 24/7, even though as a fairly new agent, I was like, I need to work all day, all night, whenever anyone needs me. You still need to have your time and your family time. A lot of the big agents have where they have one evening that they work, you know, in one weekend day. You still need to take a day off. So you can take a day off, still maybe do some stuff at home or, you know, some lead generation stuff, but you're not out running around and things like that. So if someone had shown me a schedule like this when I first started, I would have been like, heck, I can do that. But I just thought I had to jump and pop and go and do and be everywhere for everyone. Right. Which sometimes you might have to. But at least if I had a schedule like this, I would know, hey, this is what I'm going to do at this time. This is what I'm going to do at this time. Da, 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 da. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So that's in your Passport to Success. Let's see here. You guys are going to have a DISC class. Let's see here. Tomorrow at 1:30, building your business with the DISC. Do you guys know what the DISC is?
Somewhat.
It's, so it is a kind of a assessment of sorts. But in your Passport to Success, which I will email you all today, it's going to give you kind of an overview of that. So this might be a good packet to take with you if you're able to go to the class at 1:30 tomorrow, because it's building your business with the DISC with Jennifer Mallory, who I know, she's awesome. And for different ways to prospect. So it depends on where you fall, which letter you lead with. So like I lead with my S and then my I. Okay. So it kind of shows you I'm kind of outgoing-ish, people-oriented, stable, you know, kind of right in there. But the cool thing is lead gen based on your whatever you lead with will show you some different ways, what you're motivated by. So whatever you lead with, then you can be like, oh, well, I like to do this, or I like to do that, right?
Right.
And then the other thing with lead gen on here, why aren't we moving? Is the memory jogger. It's pages, I'm sorry, it's being really weird on my computer. There we go. The memory jogger. So if you can find one person who goes into each category, look at all the people contacts you would have.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's
so
that's in the Passport as well?
Yeah, this is good in the Passport.
And is the Passport on On core, or you
I'm going
need?
to email it to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to go over it first with you a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, I mean, there's just tons of things. More lead gen ideas, what to do, moving companies, blah, I mean, just tons of stuff in here. And then there's some really good books. So Jake is the founder of the Locker Room, and he's just put a really good book list together. So if you want to pick some books to read, there's some really good ones in here.
Right.
Trying to think. Let's see.
Is the 10X rule, is that Grant Cardone?
It is. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, he's really
I know
cool.
he's good.
Yeah, Jake actually went to his conference,
It's,
the 10X conference last year. So that was really
on that
cool.
list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it down there, the 10X rule. Okay.
Yeah, so really good stuff on there. Okay. So then let me get out of my full screen here. F11. How do I get out? How do I get in? That's my question. Escape. Function 11. There we go. So that is the Passport to Success. Now I want to show you, there's a lead gen course in the Locker Room University as well. So when you're in your core and you click Locker Room University, if you haven't signed up yet, you'll need to create an account. And then it'll pull up. I already have my account. And then you can, in the little search bar right here, can you guys see? Am I sharing or not?
It's just
It's
showing,
not, yeah.
There we
just
go.
showing the video chat.
There you go. So let me step back. So in core, you'll check Locker Room University right here. It'll open up. And then in the search bar, if you haven't set up an account, just do the setup process. And then when you're in there, just type in lead for lead gen and click enter. And there's a lead gen Huddle library archive here. Okay. So you can go in there. And there's three coaches who have videos in here for you. So like this one, I'm not going to start it. It doesn't have a time on it. Let me see. Usually there's a time. But there's 3 coaches in here talking about your database, your spheres, your salary, and cultivating 5 relations of the wealth. So a really, really great huddle for you guys to look at. And yeah, we always have little funny things on here. I've been busy. But that's in your Locker Room University. So you can watch that at your own pace. But those are some really good lead gen tools that we're going to get out to you. Okay. All right, let me see here. My passport. So disc class tomorrow at 1:30 will be good. What'd you have, Adam?
What?
Oh, I thought you said something.
Yeah, I just have to use the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Okay, and then I saw, let's see here. Where's my chat? Maybe I can't chat when I'm on here. There we go. Yep, so Meralda's going to get everyone copies later today, or you can print out your own from the email, whatever works for you, of the passport. So Meralda, if you could let me know, were the agents, have all the agents been disked for the class tomorrow, or how is that working? Because it looks like Danielle filled out the assessment. Just want to make sure everyone gets, if they're going, can get that done. So just let me know. No, they need to attend the class. Oh, so they don't do the assessment ahead of time. Typically when we do our DISC classes, we'll do the assessment ahead of time, but hopefully she'll let you know how to do that. Oh, Danielle was given info to do the disc ahead of time. Okay, so let's make sure, Janet, are you going to be able to go to that class tomorrow?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I have another job. That's the problem.
Okay, okay, nope, that's not a problem. And then we'll see if we can get that to Adam if he can go. Perfect, awesome, awesome. Great, okay. So time management, we have those couple videos, and then in the Locker Room University. So let's see here.
We're back to the regular, we're not seeing the stuff.
Yeah, I'm not showing anything. I'm just reading this from Meralda.
Okay.
Yeah, Adam, are you going to be able to go to the class tomorrow at 1:30?
The class tomorrow?
Yeah, there's a disc class.
Yeah, I should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check and see if they can send you the link to do the assessment before you go, because it's kind of cool to
Okay.
have it done before you go.
Okay.
You can go without it, but
Oh,
you
I
can
think
get
I did
done.
that. I did that when I onboarded with Kelly.
Okay, so get a copy of that for the class.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be good. Awesome. Yep. So if you can get a copy of the one you've done, awesome. Take it
Okay.
with you. That'll be really good to have handy.
Okay. Will do.
Perfect. So talking about lead or time management. So so Janet, you have another job. What hours do you work, or is it flex hours, or what are you looking at?
I work usually 6 to 9 in the morning and
Okay.
then 1 to 4 in the afternoon.
Okay. All right.
So that interferes with a lot of the training stuff that goes
The
on.
afternoon. Okay. Awesome. So, well, I love that you've been working 3 hours and then you jump on here. So I appreciate your dedication to that. That's helpful for you as well. And then, so yeah, so your kind of time blocking is going to be a little different, right, than maybe Adam, who's full time. So just
Right.
look at that realtor kind of ideal schedule and see where you can fit what. So then you know when you're done at 9, you can say, okay, from 9 to 11 or 9 to noon, I'm going to do this. Or, so just kind of getting yourself in the mindset of how do I look at my calendar and time blocking. So time blocking your schedule for appointments as well. So if you're, so what I do is when I have a buyer, I don't just say, hey, when can you go? I say, I can meet you, from this time to this time or this time to this time. So
Right.
I control my calendar and they're not controlling it. So if you have appointment blocks in your calendar, it's so much easier to say, oh, I'm available at 1 or 4 to go show houses or whatever. Right? So when I became a coach in the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I had 20 agents and they were all calling and texting me, hey, I want to set up an appointment, or I'd text them, hey, when do you want to set up your appointment? And I'd be like a secretary all day setting up appointments. So then I finally time blocked and I was like, oh, I have this time or this time. Which one works for you? Instead of having my calendar open and just being like random appointments everywhere. So just know that when you set up those appointment blocks, it's easier to tell someone, hey, I'm available at this time or this time. Now, I know when we're not busy and we don't have a ton of appointments, like, but I'm open all the time, right? We'll still set those time block appointments, little blocks, because they can be moved if needed. Like you could say, oh, well, I could do 2. Let me just move my 1 o'clock, right? Because we don't want people to think that we're just hopping and popping. We want them to treat us like a business person, because I don't call my doctor and go, hey, I want to come in tomorrow at 2. I'll see you then.
Right.
They'll be like, no, we'll see you in 3 weeks. So we are professionals and we need to run our business as professionals. And using that time block really, really helped me get my mind around, I have this available, I have that available, and I could move it if I had room to do so, right? So always making sure that I'm sticking to my schedule as much as possible, but knowing if I do have time, I can adjust it. But when you start out with a scheduled plan, time block, it's much easier to kind of see where your time is. And you'll be surprised when you start blocking your time at how much time you've been wasting because you're like, oh, I'm doing all sorts of stuff. Well, are you really? What are you
Right.
doing? So are you doing focused work or are you just busy? Is it productive work or busy work?
Right.
You know, and then for the month, I believe you guys get a monthly training schedule, pick out the classes you want to go to, block those on your calendar, and then schedule around those, right? So if a class is 1 to 3, don't schedule a 3 o'clock appointment, make it 3:30, right? Things like that, so that you still have travel time. So I know a lot of people are like scheduling back to back to back. I'm like, how are you going to get there? Like time warp or what are we doing here? You know, like Star Trek, beam me up, I'm there. So make sure you have travel time worked in there as well. Okay. So managing your time as far as your lead generation. 3 hours a day. Doesn't
Right.
have to be a set block of 3 hours. If you can do that, that's when you're going to be most productive. However, use the time you have wisely. So what other job can you have that they say, oh, you only have to work 3 hours today?
None.
None, right? So a lot of agents really fight the lead generation. We'll call it relationship building time, call it appointment setting time. I don't care what you call it, just do it, right? 3 hours a day is really all we are saying you have to work. 3 hours, right? That is creating business, that is being productive in creating dollar producing activities, things like that. Okay, so what are some things we can do during our lead gen time? I've said a few, but I want you to say them. What are some things we can do during our time block lead gen?
Call like actual specific lead gen activities.
Yes,
Call expired listings.
call expireds. If that's something that you want to focus on, call expireds. How are you getting their phone numbers?
There are websites you can use.
Mhm.
There you could ask. I mean, there's some agents in the office that might have numbers
Okay,
if they might be willing to share.
perfect. What else could you do with expireds if you can't get phone numbers?
Knock on their door.
Knock on their door. So we got to be careful because I heard door knocking's not really a huge thing there.
Well,
We do it here all the time.
you can do it. It's
Yeah.
like anyone can knock on any door. I guess some people just think it's not the way of going about things anymore, but it's still 100% an option.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like illegal or
No,
something.
no rules against
Meralda says don't knock. So we have conflicting ideas, so you need to figure out what is and what is you can't do.
I could be mistaken. I definitely could be mistaken.
Yeah.
I just know, I know we have an agent here who's like, he's like my age. His name's Jose. And he tells me he knocks on doors all the time.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm telling you that. No knocking rules in Rockland. So maybe he's in a different county.
Okay.
But you could send a note, right?
I'll ask him, yeah.
Yeah, you could send a note to him.
Mhm.
And I did expired notes, and I literally just wrote 3 lines. And I'm going to give you my script. So when you're ready to write down, let's see. I'm getting chat, so Jose is incorrect. Okay. I say, I've noticed your home is no longer on MLS, or listed on MLS as active. If you're still interested in selling, I'd like to interview for the job. Guess it's 2 sentences. And then a thank you or talk to you soon or something like that. as with anything in real estate, there are 100 different ways to do the same thing. I know agents who send like a expired package, like a whole letter, and I don't know what all they put in it. I have been was so successful. One time I sent out 5 of those note cards and I got 3 listings. I was like, what? So worked for me. Sometimes people don't know that they can actually interview agents. So you're, kind of opening that up that, oh, I should interview. Yeah, I'd be happy to interview. You haven't asked to take their listing, right? You've said, I'd like to interview for the job.
Right.
So they're like, oh, okay. Right. And then thank you. And then put a couple cards in there. All right. It's not very time consuming. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but it can be very effective. And I wish I had my little box in here, but I have this box. I think I got it at Target or something. Do you guys have Target there? Your area? Okay. It's a little box. It's like 100 note cards and envelopes with, they're all different colors. So I always do the colorful ones. I don't use like my Keller Williams stationery or anything like that, because everyone loves, when they see a colorful envelope, they open that first, right? If you're going through your mail, all the white envelopes are either bills or something trying to sell you something. You do a handwritten note, you handwrite the address, that's the one I'm going to open first, right? So I use those as well. After I meet or have a listing or buyer consult, I send them a little note with one of those colorful note cards, so that is the first thing they open in their mail. And the power of the handwritten note card is pretty incredible. So I had an agent, new agent, and I train and coach that after you meet someone, send them a note card. Or after you talk to someone on the phone, send them a note card. Hey, it was great talking to you. Can't wait to work together, or can't wait to, till you're ready to buy. I'm so excited. Whatever you want to say, just really short and sweet. Well, he met these folks at a garage sale. So he went around to garage sales and lead generated. There you go. There's another one. And he, I think, had 3 listings from garage sales.
I go around to garage sales too and do that.
Good, right? It's very good. And then he sent them a note after, hey, it was great talking to you. Hope your garage sale was a great success. Would love to interview for the job. Done. They hired him. They're like, you're the only agent who has ever sent us a handwritten note. If that's all it takes is a handwritten note, come on now. How easy is that? Right? It's super easy.
But let me ask you a question. Nowadays, a handwritten note is going to take 2 or 3 days to get there. Don't you think that somebody has already contacted them for the listing via email?
I mean, you can kind of feel, are they ready to list tomorrow? Or, see what their time frame is and act accordingly. But even if they said, well, we already have an agent we're talking to, still send it, because if something happens with that agent, doesn't work out, not always bad to be the second agent.
That's true.
Because now they're ready to listen and be realistic, right? The first agent, they may not listen to them and they may price too high, yada yada. Second agent comes in and you're a hero, because then the first agent's like, I tried to get them to price there. Right? Happens all the time. So it might not be a bad thing to be the second agent all the time. Oh, you got to chat. Let's see here. Is it okay to send a note card without calling? Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyone you meet, anyone you run into, but if you're doing expireds, just send them a little note card. Hey, I noticed your home is no longer listed active on the MLS. If you're still interested in selling, I would love to interview for the job. Have a great day. Yada, yada, a couple cards, mail it out. Yeah, your office provides a do not call list, so just be careful with your calling. Oh. Awesome. Good. So that's a couple other little ways to lead generate during your lead gen time, your business building time, your relationship building, your appointment setting time. So I have, let's see, so I don't know. I know Adam kind of watched the video, but the agent action plan is something that you're going to work on for the next 2 weeks. And again, that course is in your Locker Room University, so make sure you get signed up and in there. You can print this off from there. I will attach it as well to the email I send out with the Passport to Success. And the first page is going to be, what do you want to net in 2020? And you'll work through the math. And the course will walk you through the math step by step. And then it'll down at the bottom, it'll chunk it down to how many appointments you need per week. Appointments per week, then you can chunk that down to how many do you need a day. And then you'll know, hey, every week I need to go on X amount of appointments. Okay, so that's really our job, is to generate leads that turn into appointments. Because if we're not going on appointments, then we're not going to be working, right?
Right.
So the appointment is the name of the game. And it doesn't always have to be a buyer or seller appointment, right? It could be someone you haven't seen in a while, you go to have coffee, right? Somehow you're getting with people, because the more appointments you go on, the more confident you're going to be when it's a buyer or seller appointment, right? So you could go to coffee. I don't know if you guys, but here, when you get your license, when you're newly licensed, like every lender, lender wants to take you to lunch or coffee or whatever. Go with them. That's an appointment, right? It might not be a business real estate buyer seller appointment, but it's still an appointment where you can network now with somebody, have them in your corner or on your list or whatever. Okay, so appointments is where it's at. So if you were challenged to do 2 appointments this week, who would you go on an appointment with? Right? So find some time and figure out who you would go on an appointment with. Is it a mega agent? Is it an agent in your office that you want to pick their brain? Is it a member of your ALC? Right? You're like, hey, I'd love to, go to lunch or coffee and love to hear how you lead generate. What does that look like? When do you do it? Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep. So, kind of figure out when you can do it, who that's going to be with, and be very purposeful about it. Is it your team leader? They have to lead generate too, right? Louise lead generates. She's probably pretty busy, so you may just meet with her for 10 minutes or something in the office. But, lean on and use the people that are there who've been doing this for a while. And one of the great questions to ask them is, what do you wish you would have known in the beginning that you know now?
Right.
Or what would you have done different when you started now that you know different? So managing, those time blocks and having a couple of those in there in your appointment time. That would be very helpful, because then you can be like, oh, well, I hear what Jody's saying. I hear what we're hearing in the classes, but it's nice to hear from all different people and how they do what they do. Because like I said, there's 100 ways to do the same thing, because everyone has a different take on it, how they want to do it, where it ends up in their time block. So you may say, hey, what does a typical calendar look like? Knowing there's no typical, do they have a set time that they script practice or lead gen or make calls or follow up on their business? What does that look like? Oh, someone's chatting. Danielle, I've been learning a lot from other agents and it's been very helpful and informative for me to learn how others do business. Yeah, absolutely. So the beauty of Keller Williams is it's such an open and sharing company that people are willing to share and willing to help out. And sometimes we just have to ask, right? If we sit back and go, well, no one's helping me. Well, okay, well, help yourself. Get out there, find someone. And when you start doing that, those agents are going to see that you're in this and that you want to learn. And if they have open houses, I mean, I have one agent and he gets first dibs at any open house from the other agent. So as soon as they get a new listing, they call him, hey, do you want this house? And he either does or doesn't, but they give him first dibs. And I'm like, that's cool, right? That's building a relationship in business
Right.
where I am always getting first dibs on the brand new listings that team or that agent has if they're not going to be available for open house. So build those relationships as well, because those inner agent, inner office relationships are just as important, right? Maybe they're overloaded and they have more buyers than they can handle, and you've been really, helping them out with open houses and things, and they're like, hey, we have a buyer, you want a referral? You just never know. So those are really other great ways to lead gen, is really networking with other agents in your office, seeing what they wish they would have done when they first started, that they know now, that would have made life a lot easier. Okay, so learn from others. I always say, learn from my mistakes. Don't do as I did, do as I say, because now I know better and I don't make those mistakes anymore. Okay, so time blocking. Janet, what would be a good time for you to set for lead gen, knowing your schedule?
Like 9:30 to 11:30.
Okay, great. So how many days a week would you commit to that? Realistically
Would be probably 3.
Okay, great. Because 3 is better than 0. We can always
Right.
work up. It's hard to do less than 0.
Right.
So Adam, what time block in your day, 2 to 3 hours or 1 hour 3 times a day, would work for your schedule, and how many days will you commit to that?
I would say 8:30 to noon.
Okay.
Or what was it on the schedule? 8:30 to 11.
8:30 to 11.
8:30 to 11, and then like 4 days.
4 days? Okay. I love it. So get those blocked in your calendar. Do you guys use electronic calendar or do you use paper calendar?
Electronic.
Okay. Are you using Google or iPhone or iCal, or what are you using?
Google and on the iPhone.
Okay. So Google Calendars. That's my favorite, is the Google Calendar, because I can literally move stuff around, within the calendar on my phone. Let's see. You can do reminders. So I don't know if you know that. Let's see what Danielle said. So Danielle set lead gen from 9:30 to 11 and 2 to 4, added into her calendar Monday through Friday using a Google Calendar. Perfect. Okay. I mean, I have so many, I don't even have all my calendars open. If I did, my calendar would look cray. Let me see if I can, I'll share my screen here. Where's my calendar? Here it is. So if I had all of my things open, let's see, like my calendar would be crazy. So the yellow is my office training calendar. And you see at our office, we have 9 to 11 lead gen time in the bistro. Yeah, we have a bistro. It's a really big office. But what you can do is if you see a class that you want to go to, like, ooh, this Monday tech update from 2 to 3, that looks cool. If you're using Google Calendar, you can open that up and then just copy it to your calendar save, and then you can close that training calendar, but the trainings that you want are still on there. See how that doubled up there? So that way, let's see. So like my coach's calendar, I just bring over the things that I need to do, and then I turn it off. So I don't have all the calendars open, because it can get a little crazy. Okay, so remember, time block, whatever you want to call it, lead gen, business building, productivity time, whatever, dollar producing activity time, DPA, that's what we call that, dollar producing activity, DPA. Has to have some DPA value.
Right.
So what is it that's going to produce some dollars? Setting appointments, going on appointments. Okay. Did Maralda say there's a, or someone say there was a class at 10 today or 11 for you guys?
I think there's some sort, let me check the calendar, hold
It's
on.
a compliance class.
Oh, awesome. You need to go to that.
Right.
Yes. Yep, 11 to 12. Great. So I'm going to get wrapped up here so you guys can go to that so that you don't miss that, because that's all going to be, well, for you guys that might not be new, or it'll be new because you're new, but it won't be a change. For some of us, we're like, whoa, we don't like change, and now we're having to change. So, but it's all cool. It's working good. We love it. Okay, so time management. Figure out what you're going to do, your time block. So both of you have committed to your times, and Danielle has already put that on her calendar. She has that on her calendar. 9:30 to 11 and 2 to 4, Monday through Friday. So I want you to commit to what you think you will do, and then grow into, you know, that every day. But I want you to do something every day.
Okay.
Even if it's just 15 minutes and you're, you know, sitting in the line at the bank or McDonald's or whatever, right? You can always make calls. But if you plan ahead, do your prep time either that morning or the day before. Oh, there's another class at 1. So you guys are class all day today. Awesome. I love Monday classes. Where was I going? Lead gen. What was I saying? Can someone remind me? Oh, if you're prepping, so you can prep right before your lead gen time. You'll see that on the on that little realtor schedule, or you can prep the night before, right? So if you prep the night before, then you can make sure you have your numbers, your addresses, whatever you're going to do for your time the next day, your blocked time. You can have that prepped the day before, right? So it may be easier to do that, have it prepped, ready to go before you go to bed, and then just start it when you get where you need to go. So that you can make sure that you have everything you need, all the materials, whatever you're doing, you know where you're at. If you're doing, you know, something through command, you'll have that all ready to go and such. Yes, sir.
Who else can we call during lead gen other than expires? I know for my owner.
Yeah, well, and then your sphere, right? If you haven't caught up with them recently, your sphere vendors, right? Hey, I was referred to you by Janet. She says you're an awesome roofer. Just wanted to touch base and introduce myself. So if I need a roofer for my clients, I'd love to put you on my list.
Right.
Hey, you know, I'm a realtor. I work with Janet, blah, 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 blah. Right? So some networking calls you can do. If you're not just calling, you can just, you know, start writing notes. You can, you know, I still say during your lead gen, you can send out instant messages on, you know, Facebook or Can you do that on Instagram? I don't do Instagram.
Yes.
So there you go. Whatever social media platform you like and where most of your people are, you know, and setting up, do you guys have a business page?
Not yet.
Not yet. So if you set up a business page on Facebook, or I don't know the other ones. I only know Facebook because I'm old. That's where all the old people are. And you can set up a post to go out. You can schedule it ahead of time. So you can do a week at a time. So you know that something's going out every day. And then you can do some organic stuff. Yeah, Danielle has one. You can do some organic posting, but you could, you know, get articles from realtor.com, or Home Depot has some really like good home tip articles. And just make sure you, if it doesn't have who it is, that you cite where you got it. But you can set those up to post ahead of time. So you can have one going out every day and just get that set up once, right? So a lot of people do lead gen through social media. And I have one agent, and that's where she gets all of her business, is through her social media. She's always posting. And when you're doing open house, you can do a video, Facebook Live when you're there. I don't ever recommend videoing in the house, because I know there's pictures online, but stand outside and say, hey, I'm at 123 Main Street. Would love for you to stop by. If you can't stop by today, I'd love to set up an appointment for you to see it, right? So those are all things you can do depending on what your lead gen is. So if you're doing open house, so some of your lead gen may be getting your flyers or whatever ready to send out to the neighborhood, things like that. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's really your work time, focused work time to get things done and ready to go for whatever, you know, pick 3 ways you want to lead gen. When you're new, you'll try a lot of different ways, and then you're going to want to narrow it down to 3. So is it social media, open house, and pop buys for my client, right? And when you pick your 3 and you get those designated, it's a lot easier. Your business building time, your lead gen time becomes a lot more focused, because you know, this is what I'm going to do because these are the 3 things I'm working on. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so block your schedules.
Okay.
I'm going to send you the Passport to the Success and the Agent Action Plan. And I want you working on that Agent Action Plan in the Locker Room University, because put on your calendars, November 8th, I think it is, at noon your time.
We're doing coaching right now.
Oh, coach.
Yeah.
November 8th.
November 8th at noon your time. And I'll be recording it, so you can always hop on Facebook and grab it and watch it. We'll just be going over that. So that's your deadline to have this done, is November 8th. Okay, the Friday. November 8th. Okay. Awesome. Danielle's hitting off. Okay, so what'd you hear today that you're like, ooh, I'm going to implement that right away?
I would say, you know, getting my open house flyers ready during lead gen time, I thought that fell into a different category.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought
So
that
yeah,
didn't
working on those.
qualify as lead gen, but now I see.
Perfect.
I like what you said about your expireds with your 3 sentences in a note card to go out.
Perfect. Yeah, super easy. You can look at the expireds every morning, make sure they haven't gone active, and then send them out.
Yep.
They may go active, but you've already sent the card, right? So they may hold on to it and be like, oh, dang, right? So Danielle says she's going to run to Target and get some note cards.
Me too.
Right? Yeah, super. I mean, it's 100 note cards for like $25. I mean, it's super inexpensive, and they're colorful and happy, and so makes for a fun piece in the mail. Awesome. I don't want to cut you short, but I do want you to get to that class if you can. At 11, what they say it was? Compliance. So want you to get to that. I want you to take advantage of all the classes in your office so you can make sure you're on the road. So time block your calendar, get some appointments in there, even if they're not buyers or sellers. Get in the habit of having your appointments. Okay? Even if it's just a friend you need to catch up with over coffee, whatever. Okay? Just get in the habit of going on an appointment.
Right.
All righty?
All righty.
All righty. We will see you guys next week. Have a great day and a great week.
Thanks. You too.
Awesome.
Okay, very good. Let me see. Somebody dropped a key down here. I'm wondering if it was Mark.